Welcome everyone to the Tribes for Good annual fundraiser 2020. This is a maiden annual fundraiser that we are starting, and we are pretty excited to have you
हाँ वो
all
जरूर
here.
भेजूंगा और एक काम का व्हाट्सएप कर दो मनोज को
Thank
बता
you
दो कि
again
मैंने मेल
for
भेजा था व्हाट्सएप आप जरा देख लें
thank you everyone again for joining us for this event, particularly all people who would be a part of this event, as well as people who have donated to our fundraiser and joined us to watch these kids perform. Also, just a few general instructions. I would request all of you to keep your microphones on mute, so that ways there won't be interferences which could, affect the performances of the student and so on. So, again, before we even begin about talking about the annual fundraiser, I would like to introduce everyone who might be new to our organization or has even been a part of our organization. So, I'd like to introduce you what Tribes for Good exactly is. So, Tribes for Good is an award-winning platform for experiential education and impact travel. So, we work with individuals, careers, changes, universities, everyone. It could be a professional, it could be a student, it could be a retiree. We work with everybody to move towards social change, and what we focus on are the sustainable United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As you can see, we work on a lot of goals, including environment, social justice, and majorly we focus on three goals. That is goal number one, no poverty; goal number four, which is quality education; and goal number five, which is gender equality. Again, a lot of people want to give back to the society, and people do want to make a social change and make a difference. But sometimes it so happens that people are not really sure how to go about it. And Tribes for Good, that's why, is on a mission to help everybody achieve a collective dream of realizing a lasting social impact. So, that being said, all in all, Tribes for Good is a bunch of crazy optimists inspiring people to take action for a better world. That is who we are truly. And we have been Tribes for Good has actually been founded in 2017. So Tribes for Good was founded in 2017 by Mandeep Kaur, who's the founder, and she's on the call with us as well. She's in the event. And to introduce myself as well, I have been a Tribes part of Tribes for Good for a year and a half now. My name is Kashyap. I have a background in engineering, but during my engineering days, I found out that social impact is something that is I care much more about than my engineering career. So I shifted into Tribes for Good, and I have been here for a year and a half, and it's amazing to see the kind of change people are trying to bring, and even the organization is trying to bring. And over the course of 3 years that we have been founded, we have been able to generate quite a lot of impact, and I'd like to talk about that for a minute. So the impact till now, what we have created is look something like this. What Tribes for Good also does is we create our own programs which can be bridged with the NGOs. So a lot of nonprofits can utilize our curated programs for their benefits. For example, the financial and digital literacy program, which is about providing financial education as well as technical education on using financial instruments through the mobile phone or the smartphone or any other technological device. Under that campaign, we have been able to train around 1,500 women from low income backgrounds across India. That all we have also worked on enhancing employability skills among youth, particularly in the urban slums of Mumbai, that is the Dharavi. So these are students who are between the age of 18 to 22 who have been studying either in undergraduate or postgraduate courses. And post the graduation, they are looking for jobs. And what we help them is to we help them understand what are the employable skills they need to have apart from a graduation certificate or a degree. What are the life skills they require during the work life. That is what we do. We have also been able to work with a few non-profits as well as organizations that are working with government schools. We have been able to build STEM curriculum for government schools. So the idea behind these STEM curriculums is to bridge the rural and urban education divide through providing these curriculums to government schools, which can be taught at par with our schools. So that was one such initiative. And over the course of 3 years, we have been able to train around 1,500 change makers as such. And some of these change makers are a part of today's event, and you'll get to see the work they have done and what they really care about. All of our change makers are really passionate about a social cause, and they go lengths to make sure that they can keep giving back to this cause. So that's an amazing part of this amazing thing of being a part of this organization as well. And the whole idea behind Tribes for Good as such is supporting understaffed organization and amplifying the grassroots level efforts so that we can see a change that is scalable, which can create an impact that can last for generations to come. And I'm actually very proud to say this, but over the course of Tribes for Good inception and the way we have been working, we have been able to provide around 2,000 more plus hours of social impact by our change makers. So everybody who has been associated with Tribes for Good over the course of 3 years was able to actually make 2,000 and plus hours of impact. So this is groundwork, this is field visit, this is meeting with beneficiaries, teaching them, learning from them, research work, everything combined. So there's a lot that has been going on with Tribes for Good, and this wouldn't have been possible apart from if we did not have a few of our programs which are really crucial to this particular creating these particular impact and people coming into us and wanting that support. So one such program that has made this kind of impact possible is the Young Change Makers program. Now the Young Change Makers program is for young individuals who want to make a difference in the society but aren't really sure how. So they have an idea, they do have a knack for bringing about social change, they are passionate about causes, but when it comes to taking the first step, people usually get confused and don't know how to move about it. So that is where Tribes for Good is always happy to help these individuals, wherein we help them understand what they actually want to achieve, what their idea is, and how they can actually implement it. So we do a lot of things with students. So we work on teaching them the concept of sustainability, what social impact is, what leadership looks like, how they can become social entrepreneurs, and everything is hands-on and virtual. So that way, we are actually able to reach out to many individuals at one point in time, and ensure that everybody gets to work on a project that they are passionate about, and ultimately realize the goal of creating a lasting social change. So moving on, let me also talk about what we'll be doing in the next couple of months. So, starting this November, we have a batch start of the Young Change Makers program starting. In case anybody who's interested in knowing more about the program or may want to be a part of this program can reach out to us, we will be happy to share the details with you. And it's not a lot of time when you think about social impact. A lot of people think that it's a lot of groundwork. You might have to be engaged totally with the beneficiaries. It's not that. By just contributing 2 hours every week for 8 weeks, you can ensure that you are creating an impact which can keep sustaining itself and can keep going on from time to time. So that is something that is really crucial. And a few themes from the past as well, which projects you might know or may not. So let me tell you about the projects as such as well. So one such project we work with a lot of organizations currently is the Sustainable Fashion Project. So what has happened is due to the COVID situation, a lot of art-based organizations who are dependent on exhibitions have to, depend on online mediums and people buying online. So it's a little bit of a hardship for them. So we are bringing in people of students who are interested in sustainable fashion and change can actually come to us and they can help these organizations market research, design products, and help them make the sale of the products online. That can be done through the Sustainable Fashion Project. The financial and digital literacy project is something that is widely reached out in terms of our NGOs. We are trying to reach out as many NGOs as we can for this particular project. So this is about providing financial stability to people from low income backgrounds, be it women, be it adolescent children who are about to enter the workforce, or be it men even. So what we are trying to say to them is that you apart from the organizations working on their own causes, the ideal thing to do is also to tackle poverty at the same time. So if people can be taught to be in control of this finances, if they can understand how finance works and if they can save money, that is something that can go on for a long time. So that is something you can enroll into the digital literacy project and do that. Apart from that, we also work with adolescent girls from rural parts of India where the idea is to make them independent and make them an entity of their own so that they can take their own life decisions rather than somebody else taking it for them. And through storytelling for change, you can bring out these stories of these girls from rural parts of India to the mainstream audience so that people can actually help and people can reach out and provide help to such organizations. And STEM and e-learning is something, as I again mentioned, we are working with nonprofits who are working with government schools to create STEM curriculum to bridge the rural and urban divide. And our alumni obviously have been from a precious schools, very eminent schools from across India, and some of them would be performing today as well. And these are our partner organizations. So moving on, the what are we doing here today? So today we have gathered to actually fundraise for two organizations. One is Aftertaste India, which is art-based empowerment for women, and the other one is Oscar Foundation, which is about education and sports as well as teaching life skills to kids. Now, one of our young change makers, Amanya Sahani is with us. And Amanya has actually started a fundraiser to help both Aftertaste and Oscar Foundation. Apart from Amanya, we also have Miss Roshni Kakkad, whose sons, Ahaan and Rayaan Kakkad, are also fundraising for these two organizations. What we'll be doing is we'll be sharing the link of the fundraiser with you. And in case you do want to donate to the cause, you can go to the link and you can help them fundraise. All right. So let me also talk about what Aftertaste and Oscar Foundation do because, again, since we are gathered here to talk about Oscar Foundation and Aftertaste India, let's talk about them as well so you guys know what exactly these organizations are doing. Now, Aftertaste India was founded by Shalini Datta, who is a Teach for India alumni. And her journey with Aftertaste actually started a little differently. She was actually teaching kids of these women in urban slums of Malwani and Goregaon, wherein she interacted with these women and she understood that there's a need for these women to grow. They have a knack for learning, they have a passion for growing and becoming independent, but something was stopping them because they did not have the right medium to go about it, and that is where Aftertaste was born. Now, today, Aftertaste is helping these women empower themselves and break through the vicious cycles of poverty. And it is doing so by becoming these women, by becoming self-trained artisans. So these women are working with a lot of different creative stuff, like they are making lamps, they are making dream catchers, notebooks, bookmarks, etc., etc. And they are always evolving. So they are learning new techniques, they are learning new designs, and trying to implement it through Aftertaste products. So what Shalini also believes is that in providing a dignified livelihood to these women, they can gain confidence and build self-respect, and this would something that will help them sustain their families as well as break those cycles of poverty. And the best part about Aftertaste is that all the products of Aftertaste are handcrafted. So each product tells its own unique story. A few products look really good. Some products have their own flaws, which you might not find in the exact same product. So the uniqueness that they have to the design and to the work of the product is extremely important, and it tells a story for these women. So Aftertaste India is being supported by Tribes for Good annual fundraiser. And the funds that raised would be utilized for digital and financial inclusion. So let me give you an example of how digital and financial inclusion has worked with Aftertaste. So, as I mentioned, Amanya Sahani, who's also fundraising for this particular event, she actually worked with women from Aftertaste India. Her journey started as she basically wanted to start it. Wanted to start teaching these women about financial inclusion and digital literacy. So she started with a very basic project of teaching Google Pay to them. But even before they could learn Google Pay, we had to help them understand how Google Pay works, how to install it. So it was a tedious process in the start, but ultimately these women actually got the hang of it. And today they are using Google Pay and Paytm to pay their mobile bills, pay their electricity bills online, water bills, gas bills. They're even using it to pay to merchants out there. So they have learned it and they have grown, and they are really happy that they actually got to understand this technology and understand how financial inclusion is really important for them. So that is a great example of how this money would be utilized. The other organization that we are supporting today is Oscar Foundation. Now, Oscar Foundation is an education and sports based foundation in the south of Mumbai, that is Kolaba. Now, after Oscar Foundation was founded by Ashok Rathod, who basically wanted to ensure that adolescent boys and girls from the urban slums of South Mumbai are actually able to access education so that they live a dignified and a crime-free life. Now, Ashok himself, being from the urban slums, was actually able to gain education, and he realized the importance of education. But when he moved back to his place, what he was able to observe is that education is still not important in these communities. They do not give particular importance to education, and that is something he realized that needs to be changed, because seeing people get actually married early, seeing people moving to a life of crime because they do not have the right education to actually get a job or work a proper dignified life. So he decided that he wanted to teach them. But how does he do that? So he started with football, and he had a very great a unique policy which he said: no school, no football. So kids back then wanted to utilize sports and play. So what he said, if you want to play football, you need to ensure that you go to school. So this is how his journey started, from his convincing parents of the girls to let them play football. It was a very tedious process for him. But ultimately, Oscar Foundation has come a very long way, wherein there are more than 3 programs focused on leadership, professional sports, and quality education. And as you can see, this is the kind of impact Oscar Foundation has been able to create. And the football team, the sports, which is the core part of Oscar Foundation, they have been able to actually go out across the globe and win multiple trophies. So be it a corporate league in India, the I League, or even the international leagues, the teams of Oscar Foundation are called so that they can play, because people love the idea of how Oscar Foundation works. It's not just about inducing sportsmanship into the children. It's also about educating them and giving them a purpose for life through sports. And with Oscar Foundation as well, the funds that we raise, every single penny of it would go for digital and financial inclusion of these kids. So that is what we'll be doing with both these organizations. So the next up, we do have a series of performance for you. These are all our change makers who have worked really hard to ensure that they are able to raise awareness about the fundraiser that is being held. To talk, and each one of them is passionate about a unique cause, which we'll let you know as we proceed with them. But before I move on to presenting our change makers, I would like to invite Ms. Mandeep Kaur, the founder of Tribes for Good, to tell us a few words before we move.
अरे 15 मिनट में कुछ नहीं होता कुछ नहीं
Once again, I would request everybody to keep the microphones of mute in case it's not required. All right, over to you, Mandeep.
Thank you, Kashyap, for this wonderful introduction. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We are really happy that you want to support us as well as our young change makers. So, we have talented kids who have prepared song, dance, as well as music performances just for all of you. So, we hope you enjoy the entire performance. Hope you stay with us for the next 30 to 40 minutes. Some of them will be live performances, some of them are recorded performances. And in case you want to donate, please let us know and we'll share the link with you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Kashyap.
Thank you, Mandeep. Thanks a lot. So we'll get started with the performances. And as Mandeep said, some of these are live performances and some of these are recorded. What I would like to request you all is to be appreciative to these students, because they have put in a lot of effort and we have seen it throughout the week. It might happen that since internet stability is something that we are, usually problem is usually problematic these days, given everybody's working from home. So in case it happens, please bear with us and just wait for a few minutes and we'll try to make it all right as soon as possible. All right. So the first performer for today we have is Ambica Kale, and Ambica Kale would be playing the piano. Now, a little bit about Ambica. She's a 16-year-old girl who has been playing piano for almost 10 years now. And other than being passionate about music, film, she also loves reading a lot about world politics. And she is very, very passionate about bringing education to all people from different. I'm so sorry, guys. I would again request you to keep yourselves on mute in case it's not required. And I'll redo the introduction again for Ambika so that everybody can hear it. As I was saying, Ambika is a 16-year-old girl who has been playing piano for a decade now, and she has a lot of interest in film and music. But apart from that, she also loves reading about world politics, and is quite passionate about bringing education to all people from different sectors of society, particularly in India. So Ambika today is supporting education through her performance. So, Ambika, if you are ready, I would like to request you to turn your camera on so that and put yourself, if you can unmute yourself, we'll be able to help. we see you perform.
Hi everybody, my name is Ambica and today I'm going to be performing a piece by one of my favorite composers called Chopin and it's called Raindrop Prelude and I hope you like it. you.
Amazing, amazing. Ambica, that was actually great.
Thank you.
Really mind blowing. Ambika, since we have you on the video right now, would you also like to talk about the cause you're passionate about with everybody and like maybe encourage them to be like you? And people have been pouring in chat that it was an amazing performance. So just to inform you that. All right.
Thank you. Like Mr. Kashyap mentioned before, I'm incredibly passionate about education because I get, I attend Cathedral School, which is one of the best schools in the country. And when you get a high quality education, I've also realized that so many people in India don't. And I feel that education isn't a privilege; it is a right, which so many children are getting deprived of, and that's why in any way shape I can, I try to use music as an avenue where I can spread awareness amongst family, friends, or people I don't know about of how education is such an important issue that is not there in our country. And that's why we should have education in our country, because it is the crux of all our problems, but it is also the crux for all our solutions. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Next up, we have is Tarini. Tarini's performance is Oddisi dance. However, the movements are so important that if she moves around in the camera on a live performance, you might miss a lot of movements. So we have recorded Tarini's performance, and we'll be able to show you that in a moment. But before that, let me introduce who Tarini is. So Tarini is Tribes for Good's own young change maker who will be performing today to support both Aftertaste India and Oscar Foundation. She is a 14-year-old Odyssey dancer from the Sri Ram School, Mulsari, with a social conscience. And what she wants to do is Tarini wants to do that is she wants to raise awareness about child education, gender equality, and financial inclusion of underprivileged women, which is something both Aftertaste and Oscar Foundation are doing. These are the topics that are very close to her heart and for which she has been working for the past couple of years. So let me quickly share my screen and present to you Tarini's performance.
Good dance, Tarini.
Since we also have Tarini on the call, Tarini, before I start you play your performance, would you like to say something to the audience?
Namaste everyone. Hello, my name is Tarini Malhotra. I'm from the Sri Ram School. And for as long as I can remember, I always liked helping people, and I've always wanted to raise awareness about children education, gender equality, and financial inclusion, like Kashyap sir just said. And I have also undertaken various projects for the same. For example, I have been volunteering as a teacher at a school for underprivileged children. And as a part of Tribes for Good, I have worked with women from Malvani in Mumbai and helped nudge them towards the goal of financial literacy by teaching them how to use the digital financing app of Paytm. And recently, I just did a fundraiser of my own to support intellectually disabled children from school that was facing tough times as a result of COVID-19. And today, you will see a performance of mine. I learn Oddisi. I have been for the past 10 years. Style of Guru Surendranath Jaina. And I've been learning from Guru Jaya Mehta. Thank you. Please enjoy.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Tarini. I'll quickly share Tarini's performance with everyone. Can everybody see it? I hope everyone can see my screen.
Namaste. My name is Tarini Malhotra.
It would be great if somebody can let me know whether you can see my screen so that I can play the video.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can see the screen.
Perfect. Thank you.
I have been learning Oddisi dance under the guidance of Guru Jaya Mehta for the past 9 years. Namaste. My name is Dani. Volume under the guidance of Guru Jaya Mehta for the past 9 years. Today, I'll be performing Archana Holi in Guru Surendranath Jaina style.
ఈ నాన్ వీడియో పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ తెలుసు షో నాన్ వీడియో పార్టిసిపెంట్స్
Fuck. బాగుంది వీడియో. వీడియో బాగలేదు. లైవ్ కదా ఇది?
రికార్డ్ చేసి పెట్టాను.
మరి ఎందుకు ఇంత భయంకరంగా వస్తుంది? మందా వాళ్ళది ఎంత భయంకరంగా?
Oh, Kashyap sir, I think it's lagging a little bit.
I'm sorry to pause the video. I can sense that there is some lag with the video. Let me just restart it and let me know if you guys can see it properly. Sorry for that.
Namaste. My name is Tarini Malhotra. I have been learning Oddisi guidance of Guru Jaya Mehta for the past 9 years. Today, I'll be performing Archana Puri in Guru Sri Jaya style.
I'm so sorry to pause the performance in the middle of that. If everybody can please put yourselves on mute, that would really help us. I would request everyone again to please put yourselves on mute and ensure that you are mute throughout. Thank you. But at least between the performances, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. All right, that was a beautiful performance by Tarini. Tarini, that was amazing. And I'm sure not many people over here might as well know about Oddisi. So if you'd like to also explain a bit about your dance and what the movement meant, that would help a lot of us understand how the dance performance went and what was the concept behind it.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I wasn't being allowed to unmute. Yeah. So in Oddisi, it's basically you take temple sculptures from Jagannath Temple or Konark Temple in Orissa, and you make them move. So in this dance, it's Archana Puri. It's basically the Devdasis who are taking care of Jagannath, the statues of Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balaram in the temple. They go to the temple, they climb up with their thalis, and then they perform in front of him, and they clean his the murtis, and they adorn him with different jewelry and flowers. So the entire dance is basically a lot about devotion of the dancers to their god.
Thank you so much. Thank you for letting us know that, Tarini. Thanks a lot. And great performance again. And thank you for supporting our cause. Next up, we have a couple of brothers who have been playing the piano, and I'd like to introduce them to you. So one of them is Rayaan Kakkad, and the other one is Ahaan Kakkad. Both of them perform pianos, and they have been getting great reviews wherever they perform. And they have taken to use their skill of music and playing a piano to raise awareness about various causes, go to multiple fundraisers where they can contribute through their music. So today they'll be performing as well as they are raising funds for to provide it for sports and education for the underprivileged children. So I'd like to invite Rayaan Kakkad first. Rayaan, would you like to turn your video on, please?
Yeah, hi. I'm Rayaan, and I'll be playing Primavera by Ludovico Einaudi.
Before we get started on the music, Ryan, would you also like to talk about which cause you're supporting and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, okay.
Great.
So I'm very passionate about technology, and I love playing the piano. And I thought it would be a great idea to raise funds for the underprivileged, so that they have access to technology, especially during these testing times, by participating in the fundraiser. So I hope you all enjoy it.
All right, Ryan, that was actually quite amazing. Like I really loved it, and I'm sure the others loved it too. They might be putting in the comments. You can see it in the chat. So great again. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you so much for the fundraiser that you're doing, because these organizations and these people actually need access to technology, as you mentioned. Because yeah, even their schools are closed, and we are able to study, but they might not be able to. So a really great cause and a really great initiative and an amazing performance. And thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to now invite our youngest performer for the day. His name is Ahaan Kakkad, and he's just 8 years old. Who'll be performing on the piano, and just like his brother Ryan, he is also trying to fundraise for underprivileged kids to help them through education. And hi Ahaan, how are you? What will you be playing today, Ahaan? Can you tell us?
I'm playing Believer by
Okay.
Dragons.
Oh, that's amazing. And just Believer, or do you also want to play something else?
Believer, just.
All right, just Believer? Perfect. All right. So, Ahan, you can get started whenever you like. All the best.
Also, I would like to say something.
Sure, please.
The piano, that's why I want to raise funds for the unprivileged children.
That's amazing, Ahan. Thank you so much. Thanks for your contribution. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Ahan. That was beautiful. Would you like to say something to us? Anything?
Actually, can I just play one more song, Devil's March?
Sure, sure. Please go ahead. Please.
Done.
Great. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you again, Rayaan and Ahaan, and thanks a lot to Miss Roshni as well for helping us raise funds for the Oscar Foundation as well as Aftertaste India. Moving on, our next performer is again a family duo, and they are Mallika and Malavika. Unfortunately, they couldn't join us today, although we do have their performances recorded, so we'll present that. A little bit of introduction about them. So they are 16-year-old sisters from Bangalore, and they like to cook and enjoy dancing a lot. And they'll be performing Oddisi dance today. Now, they say that they actually want to raise awareness about the importance of menstrual health and hygiene in India. And they basically want to work towards changing the stigma regarding menstruation. And what they also want to do is they also want to raise awareness about small artisan based businesses and local artisans who particularly need our support in the times of pandemic. So let us come together and see a performance by Mallika and Malvika and try help local organizations as they want to. So just give me a second. I'll quickly share my screen. Uh, can somebody please confirm if my screen is visible? If you can put it in the chat, that would be helpful. All right, perfect. So we'll just quickly play this video by Malika and Malavika.
Jena, Jena, Tari Jena, Tari Jena, Tari Jena, Tari Jena, 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 Tari Jena, Tari Jena, Tari Jena, 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 Tari Jena, Tari Jena, Jena, na, ta, ta, Jena, ta, na, 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 ta, na, na, ta, na, Jena, ta, na, na, ta, na, Jena, ta, na, 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 ta, na, 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 ta, na, Jena, sa, re, sa, re, sa, re, sa, re, re, ta. Hare ma, hare hare, hare hare ma, re ta. Ma ma ma, ma ma ma, ma re sa ma ma, re ta. Ma ma ma, ma re sa re, re sa re sa ni pa ni sa re, ma re sa ni pa ma re, ma re sa ni pa ma re, ma re sa ni pa ma re, ta na na ta na, ta na na na, ta na 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 ta na, ta na na ta na, ta na na na, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Uh, yeah, that was actually amazing, and I hope each one of you enjoyed that performance. I would like everyone to just take out some time, and I hope you all appreciate the fact that the kids today are young change makers, are taking out the time to record videos, and even though they can't be live can't perform it live, they are actually at another fundraising event for their college where they are working on the same thing. So I really appreciate the kids, particularly our change makers who have been pushing their boundaries and working round the clock, and being so passionate about the causes that they don't really care about the time. Rather, they actually want to optimize their time in a way that everybody can benefit out of their skill set. And I would again like to resonate with the causes both Mallika and Malavika was talking about, that is raising awareness about menstrual health in India, and secondly, supporting small businesses during the time of COVID. So for anybody who'd like to make a donation to these two causes for for Oscar Foundation and Aftertaste India, please connect with us. You can either write to us at mandeep@tribesforgood.com, or you can reach out to us through our website. And for any young adults for any young adults who might be watching this fundraiser and you feel that you might want to make a difference to, just like other change makers, you can reach out to us again through our website and can know more about the projects that we are conducting, especially the ones Mallika and Malavika talk about, which is supporting small businesses and menstrual health and hygiene in India. So uh, we still have a couple of performances left. Now, next I'd like to invite is Purva Goel. So Purva is a 16-year-old student of Singapore International School, and she has been dancing since she was 3 years old, which I feel is like an amazing thing to do. And Purva, according to Purva, and in her words, saying that dance is my passion is maybe an understatement. I will be performing a commercial choreography on three Bollywood songs. So Purva is actually performing a choreography mix of three Bollywood songs, and she'd really like to thank us for giving giving her the opportunity. But I'd say we'd like to thank you, Purva, because you are showing us our talent and supporting our fundraiser with the cause you are passionate about. So I'll quickly unmute you, Purva, so that you can talk about your cause and help us understand why you're performing in this fundraiser.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Purva, and one cause I'm really passionate about is animal welfare and everything related to animals. So I did a lot of I've been doing a lot of things for the same, and also I've been teaching underprivileged kids dance, which I feel is their way of releasing their stress and basically an enjoyment. So that's what I've been doing. I'll be performing a commercial choreography by Svetana Kanwar and Radhika Maidev on two songs, Saki Saki and Move Your Body. So yeah.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Purva. That was actually amazing. I see you are running out of breath, but it was a great performance. So kudos to you for that. And definitely, as you mentioned, animal welfare is something that you're really passionate about. And we at Tribes for Good, we'll definitely be happy to help you out in case you ever need to, get started with animal welfare on a larger scale. So we'll be happy to do that. So once again, everyone, that this was Purva Goel. Thank you so much, Purva. Next up, we have a performance by another of our young change makers, who is Ishwara Dani. Ishwara again couldn't make it today, but we do have her recording, which we'll be playing for you. Now, Ishwara is a 14-year-old student who is studying at Aditya Birla World Academy, and she's performing at our fundraiser this year to help and support Aftertaste. She actually worked with Aftertaste, and as she has worked with them in the past, she understood the importance of financial stability for a woman and how bringing digital and financial inclusion into the life of these women could actually empower them for better. So give me a second and I'll happily present Ishwara's dance performance with you. Thank you. I hope my screen is visible. If somebody can let me know in the chat, that would be amazing. Perfect. Thank you, Mandy. So let me just quickly play Ishwara's performance.
inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet, that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. More life will really rock it, so don't stop. Everything goes, nowhere to hide, getting you close.
Great, that was awesome. I hope you all liked Ishwara's performance. So thank you so much, Ishwara, although she wasn't able to join. But I'll again like to resonate with Ishwara's belief on what social issues she is passionate about. As she mentioned, she's really keen on helping Aftertaste raise funds because she believes that digital and financial inclusion being taught to women of Aftertaste would really help them empower themselves and become and move towards a financially stable future. So that was a performance by Ishwara. And the last but not the least is Sia. Sia is our last performer for the day. Although before we start Sia's performance, I'd like to tell you all that since this is the last performance, we'd like you all to be actually associated with the performance. So this is something kind of an interactive session that Sia has planned for all of us, and if we can just loosen up ourselves a little, that would be great. So even before I introduce Sia, I'd like her to tell what she's actually planning to do.
Hi everyone, I'm Sia. So what I'm planning to do today is a mix of cardio with some yoga asanas. So it's going to be very interactive, and I would really have fun if you all switch on your cameras and we all are working out together.
So yeah, guys, if everybody can, people who would like to interact with Sia, because Sia would be teaching a few fitness routines that would be really helpful for everyone, particularly in the lockdown. And also, just to introduce Sia, Sia is a teenager who is really passionate about trying to stay fit, and she tries a lot of different workouts. And given the lockdown situation, I think everybody has resorted to some sort of activity or exercise that helps them keep their mental health in a stable condition. And that is again something which Sia is really passionate about, is like raising awareness about mental health among teenagers. So I would request everybody who would like to interact with Sia to turn their cameras on, so that even you can try a few routines with Sia. Over to you, Sia.
Yeah.
Yeah, once again, I'll request everyone who can actually interact with Sia to turn their cameras on so we can have a good session. Sia, you can start whenever you're ready.
All
All
right.
the best.
So we'll start with some basic stretches. So we'll start with some neck rotations. So you can do 5 for each side. So this basically prevents you from injuring your neck during exercises. And now we'll do some arm rotations. These are very important because sometimes you get cramps on your shoulders because of exercising without doing your rotations. So these are necessary, I would say, before doing any workout because they help you from getting cramps and serious injury. And when you're doing these rotations, make sure your core is tight and the body is not moving except your arms. So now we're gonna move on to some stretches with your legs. So first you're gonna open up your legs and shake them. So this basically opens up your legs and basically allows your body to open up before exercising. Now we do some ankle rotations. Now we're going to do some cardio workout. So it is up to you how you want to go about your cardio workout. So I do a very light cardio workout because of my knees. So you can do a light or a hardcore cardio workout. So 30-second jogging on spot. And then we're going to do some 30-second jumping jacks and then some twisters and then again jogging on spot. So whenever you get tired, instead of stopping, just start jogging on the spot because that keeps your stamina going. So the twisters are very good for your core. If anyone wants to lose the stubborn belly fat, it's very effective. You do it 15 seconds every day. It's amazing. So your legs should stay together when you're doing these twisters. Now we're going to come to some core exercises. So there are two types of planks I usually do. High plank and the elbow plank. So you can do whichever one you want. And you can start off with 15 seconds, then go to 30, then 45. So I'm going to do high plank. Now we're going to do the boat pose, which is very effective for balance and for students because it helps you concentrate and focus. And you balance for as long as you can and you try to touch your feet. So now we'll move on to the overall body exercise. So this is an all-time thing. You can do it in the morning, evening, whenever. Surya Namaskars. So they stretch your body properly and you can do back bend. Go as far as you can. Don't stretch your body too much. Then touch your ankles. If you can't, try to touch your calf instead. Then you take your 1 foot back and look up. Then you go into like a high plank and then you go back. Try to touch your heel to the ground. Then you go to Chaturanga. If you can't do this, there's an alternative. You can put your knees down, go like this. It's easier on the shoulder. Then you do this Bhujangasana. This is very good for your back, extremely effective for your spine. Then you come back to this asana. And then you get the foot which you took back to the front, and then look up. If you don't look up, you're doing it wrong. Then you touch your ankles again. If you can't touch your ankles, calf. And if you can touch your ankles easily, try to touch your toes. So, sorry, 2 fingers. And try to touch your head to the knee. I'm still not able to do it, but that's the aim. Again, the back bend. And into the Namaskar. So we're going to do it for the left side, and then we're going to end it. Never leave your exercise with just one side, because what that does is that spoils your balance, as one side is exercise and the other is not. So that really injures your body. And you ended with Namaskar. Thank you, everyone.
Perfect. So yeah, that was actually great. I might try it myself in a few days now. Like I feel motivated enough to do that finally. So I'll definitely give it a try. So great job again. And so yeah, since we have you here, would you also like to talk about the cause you're passionate about and like how would you like to proceed with it, or if you'd like to inspire a few people to do the same? You're on mute. Just a second.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about mental health, as it is something which is still not talked about. And I feel it is a necessity to talk about because as people take care of the physical health, mental health is equally important. And it's really good that, teenagers have started speaking up about it. And I feel everyone should be open about it. All age groups should start talking about it, because it's not a disease. You know how you treat something when it's something's wrong with your physical body. it's the same way. You need to acknowledge it first. A lot of people don't even want to acknowledge it. So I would say it's normal. It's nothing different. It's normal, and it's good to talk about it. It's good to teach your kids about it. It's good to talk about it. Also, I'm very passionate about education. So I teach students, I mentor students online, whoever's in government school and don't have that kind of education right now. So I mentor them. And yes.
Perfect. That's actually amazing, Sia. And you are right in the sense that we need to get a conversation going. Once you get the ball rolling, that is where you actually start to see the results. So thanks a lot again, Sia. Thank you for your efforts and great workshop today. And since it was the last performance, I'd like to thank all our young change makers who took part in performing, put in so much hard work, sweat, and blood in this performance. And I know uh, the time is such that we are all bound to our homes, but I really hope we all get back to it soon and we can actually start making social impact in a physical format once again. Before I actually end this event, I'd like to invite one of our young change makers who is raising funds for both Aftertaste and Oscar Foundation. Her name is Amanya Sahani, and Amanya is a grade 10 student who joined us in August for our Young Change Makers program. In June, actually, for our Young Change Makers program, and she worked on digital and financial inclusion with Aftertaste. And she also has her own initiative running right now, which is called Ek Sapna, which is named after her house help, who was her first student in digital and financial literacy. So I'd like to invite Amanya to turn on the camera and speak with us a little. All right, I think Amanya might have an issue with her audio, I guess. So Amanya had to leave. Anyway, so as I mentioned, Amanya would be fundraising for Aftertaste, and her initiative is Digital Sapna. So anyway, thank you all once again for joining, and thank you again for taking out the time. I hope you guys follow us on Instagram. The social media ID is at tribesforgood.com, and you can go to our Instagram ID and find the link to donate as well. So I hope you all enjoyed the event today. I hope you all, donate generously to the cause you're passionate about, and we really hope to see you all once again very soon. Uh, I'd also like to invite Mandeep again for just the last parting words. Mandeep, if you'd like to say something.
Hi, thanks, Kashyap. What a wonderful event. Amazing performances by everyone. I think some of the participants have left, but thank you so much for organizing the entire event. Thank you so much for all the people who have stayed with us from 2:15. It's almost 4 o'clock. We really appreciate the time that you have taken out to support all the young change makers who are doing such wonderful work at such young age. And as Kashyap mentioned, please donate. We will be sending you the link. If all the young change makers have the link, we can just add it here in the chat itself. Kasha, we can add it in the chat also. And we can give you the link of Oscar Foundation and Aftertaste in case you want to donate directly to them. Please do that. And please be associated with Tribes of Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mandeep. I'll quickly drop in here the URLs of Oscar, Aftertaste, as well as the fundraiser. Since we are parting, would anybody like to say something? I'll just quickly go and unmute everyone because we are low in numbers right now. So if anybody like to say something, please go ahead.
Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it just to spread awareness in any way that we can. So thank you.
You're welcome, Ambika, and we really appreciate you guys coming and giving us your time and talking about causes you're passionate about. So it's really about utilizing a platform that you get, because not everybody is privileged enough to get that kind of platform. And since you guys get it and you guys are actually making the most of it, which is great.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.